More than a year ago, I made a track using samples from a tape recording available free from the FBI website of Jim Jones and the parishioners of the People's Temple. It was when I declared, after 30 years, that I had found my voice as an artist. It is an expression of what was inside coming out. My daughter Callisti had already been stolen by Child Protective Services. She is autistic. They scheduled the last court date on her 9th birthday on the Zoom app, even though traffic and other courts were in session as usual. She will be 11 this September. Besides one weekend when I stayed in Austin for a Soundgarden show, she had never known a 24-hour period in her life without her father, her sole caregiver since she was 2.5. There were no reasons given. No evidence besides a report written by a paid employee with no training in child development or any area of knowledge relating to children. No mention of drug use. No one cared for anything except their own income. Business is business. I was sued for property by CPS and their stakeholder, the judge, who only has an income because of CPS, made his money. My only relative that I have any relationship with at all, my aunt, 79, drove 3 hours round trip nearly every week to take me to visitations with my own child, to every court date and meeting nearly over a dozen additional times, for a year. My child's mother flaked out on a ride the one time she offered. Luckily, the oldest sister, Patty, was visiting for Thanksgiving. That adventure is chronicled on this page as well as many of our other mutual experiences. My child's maternal grandfather, aunt, and half-brother live next door to me. No help or actions, not even a phone call. The track is titled "They Sound Like Babies," a reference to a conversation I had where the man speaking noted that when goats are prepared as food, they're hung upside down and their throats are slit. They sound like human babies crying. It is a repeating few-second loop of a kick drum sample and some other sounds manipulated, over which Jones and his parishioners describe what they would like to do to their former friends and relatives for abandoning them. A few months after that was recorded, all those captured speaking would be dead. This was the same year I was born. I moved next door to the Roberts family when I was 8. When I first touched my feet to the pavement at our new, then being installed residence, the first thing I saw was Patty at the top of the front porch stairs on her way to work. I remember everything she was wearing, her hairstyle, the car she drove away in. I would not see her again until I was about 25, when she attempted to give me her phone number on a receipt after purchasing a jacket from the retailer she was working at. We were too busy making impressions to realize that she gave me the wrong receipt. This is also told somewhere else here. I was in a committed relationship with the third sister, Priscilla, for 10 years, having a child at 33. Prissy took our only car and phone and abandoned me and our 2.5-year-old daughter. Even being able to procure a ride to work, I had no one to watch Callisti Eon. Grandfather and aunt next door refused to. I lost my job. Over the next 7.5 years, Callisti was diagnosed as autistic. I worked out of my home and rented out 2 rooms and a bathroom. I have never received a penny of child support from Priscilla. She currently owes me at least $60,000 interest compounding monthly. Over these decades, Patty and I fell in love. We made plans to be married 3 years ago. Then all communication was cut off. She currently is in Michigan, trapped and isolated with a Christianconservative Republican member of a white supremacist hate group. He works as a director at a branch of Ryan LLC in Troy, Michigan. Commercial and industrial property tax, making sure businesses pay as little as possible in towards our nation's infrastructure, education, and defense. The township of Lake Orion is demographically 96% Caucasian, like the horror movie Village of the Damned. He has scoured the internet of identifying information, adding hilarious lies such as that he's married, which they are not. Patty has never been married, nor are they common law, nor do they have children. And that he is of, quote, Western European, quote, descent. Specifically Italian, which of course is not in Western Europe. The pathetic, coward, narcissist loser, Thomas Wayne Randall, is actually the son of a Hispanic man, but I suppose his cute little bedsheet-wearing clubmates and his coworkers wouldn't like to hear that very much. I finally managed to get in touch with Patty on June 1st of this year. She sounded highly stressed, frightened. "Michael, I can't talk. I cannot talk." Then the line went dead. The next day it would be disconnected permanently. She had that number for decades. Thomas's number was disconnected a month previous. He had stopped blocking me and installed a robocall killer, which I immediately got through and left 8 messages. Being a fragile ego textbook narcissist, he couldn't bear to use it anymore. I have called the landline continuously for over 3 years now. No one answers. Her family will not help. The police do nothing. This is always the case in situations like these, chronicled on many domestic abuse websites. Assuming I don't solve the problem myself whenever my tax return arrives, which would ensure Patty's safety but end my life one way or another, I will have a website up to link all of my working outputs together. DeviantArt, YouTube, several poetry sites, streaming audio services, etc. They Sound Like Babies will be available for free download, as well as 47 other tracks I've hit cut and print on over the past 10 years. They will be available on the Internet Archive as well. Also available free at archive.org is a 740-page book written on Patty's text thread, which I am still able to send text to and thus use as my canvas. It is titled The Gospel of St. Patricia. Use the main search engine, not the Wayback Machine. If anyone would like to be on a future mailing list, drop me a line at Obblonge@obblonge.com. Many thankings to everyone at DeviantArt for their readership. It has been an incredible welcome. Thank you.